Mary Beth Haglin was a 24-year-old substitute teacher in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. In 2016, she started an illegal relationship with a 17-year-old student at Washington High School. Haglin later said she was struggling in her personal life and claimed the student manipulated her, but the law still considers the adult responsible because she was in a position of authority. The relationship went on for several months. They messaged constantly, met up in different places, and the student recorded some of their conversations and interactions. Those recordings eventually spread to other students, and word got back to school officials. Once the school learned what was going on, Hagglin was removed from her position and police opened an investigation. The case quickly made national headlines because of how open the relationship had been and because Hagglin showed up in interviews after the story broke. She gave several TV appearances where she talked about the situation, which only brought more attention to the case. She said she felt vulnerable at the time, but she also admitted she made serious mistakes and crossed a line that should never be crossed. After losing her teaching job, Hagglin began working in adult entertainment under the stage name Lola. She said she turned to that work because she needed money after the scandal and had trouble finding regular jobs due to the case being so public. Her move into adult entertainment was widely covered by news outlets, adding another layer of attention to the story. Hagglin would also appear in these videos, using what she was accused of to actually promote these videos, with multiple of these adult entertainment videos alluding to what she did with the teen boy. In early 2017, Hagglin pleaded guilty to sexual exploitation by a school employee. In Iowa, even if a student is close to the age of consent, a teacher or school staff member is never allowed to have a relationship with them. The court sentenced her to 90 days in jail with 1 year of probation, and she had to register as a sex offender for a period of time set by the judge. Hagglin has said she hopes to rebuild her life and move past the case, but because of how public everything became, from the leaked messages to her interviews to her later work online, her story remains one of the most talked about teacher-student cases in recent years.
Where do we begin with this one? Hagglin was a substitute teacher who had an affair with her teenage student. She sat down with our Jason Matera to give us seedy details of their affair, even down to their pet names. Well, now Hagglin is learning just how much this forbidden romance is going to cost her in jail time, and that's not all. She's embarking on a new and shocking profession.
Did you wear any of these outfits for him?
No, I didn't get any of these outfits until I started stripping.
She's the teacher who went from prim to anything but proper. Mary Beth Haglin couldn't find a gig after getting busted for carrying on a steamy affair with a teenage student. What's a girl to do? She turned to stripping. But now, the saucy sub has taken it up a notch, or should we say down. She's doing porn, as seen in this clip from a website featuring adult films.
So, you're gonna do your first adult video today.
Mary Beth opening up to the porn cameraman about her naughty romance with her student lover.
We can totally talk about the controversy that I have around me.
That controversy, a taboo relationship that sexually sparked when the 25-year-old was substitute teaching in the boys' class. The two started having an illicit affair, and like many couples, she tells our Jason Matera they had pet names for each other.
He would call me his Empress. He would call me his lobster because lobsters mate for life.
So you called him Baby Kicks and he called you his Empress?
Yes.
But the sexcapades ended when the student shared Mary Beth's sexy selfies with his friends. It didn't take long for those racy pictures to reach the desk of school administrators who sacked her.
Well, let's just say that pictures and videos like these is what got me into trouble in the first place.
Yeah.
So.
Hagglin telling Crime Watch Daily the taboo tryst took place in the student's mobile love shack, his car, and of all places, Beaver Park.
I remember he started kissing me.
Mary Beth told our Jason Matera she had broken it off with the underage student, but we caught the two together at the strip club where she was working. The student was not happy to see our camera.
I have no further comment.
No, you're a victim of a sex crime.
If you would like to discuss anything, you can speak with my lawyer, Ann Brown.
Did Mary Beth give you a lap dance?
But Mary Beth is now paying a price for her passion. She was convicted in criminal court of sexually exploiting the student.
The evidence proves beyond a reasonable doubt that Mary Elizabeth Haglin is guilty.
Mary Beth chose a bench trial, so a judge decided her fate, not a jury. He reached his decision saying Mary Beth knew the victim was a student and the conduct between the two was for the purpose of arousing or satisfying sexual desires. She didn't seem embarrassed to admit any of it to Crime Watch Daily. At her most recent hearing, the judge threw the book at Mary Beth. Judge Kevin McKeever sentenced her to 360 days in jail. All but 90 are suspended.
I have considered the defendant's age, the opportunity for her to be rehabilitated.
As the proceedings unfolded, Mary Beth's mom sat in the court with her head in her hands, being comforted by her other daughter. And in the meantime, Mary Beth will be acting out her sexual fantasies for all of her new fans on the internet.
You're like a Japanese schoolgirl.
In addition to 90 days in jail, she's going to be on parole for 10 years and must register as a sex offender for 10 years. But a little bit of good news here, she is eligible for work release.
Boy, that's some kind of work release. Anna, do we know if Mary Beth and the teen are still dating?
Well, that depends on who you ask. They both told the court that the relationship was over, but our Jason Matera ran into both of them at the strip club where Hagglin works. And if they are together now, Hagglin sure didn't say anything when she addressed the judge at her sentencing.
I just want to express my apologies to the student and to his family. I never meant to hurt anybody.
After that, Hagglin hugged her family and left court. She now has up to 6 months before she has to report to jail. And Chris, because this is a sex crime, the judge warned Hagglin that she could be subject to enhanced prison time if there are any future convictions.
What a story. Thanks, Anna. Now, we want to hear from you. Was Hagglin's sentence too harsh or too lenient? Sound off right now on our Facebook page.
The student convinced me to send him sexy pictures, some nude. He shared them with his friends, who then shared them with their friends. Pretty soon, they were all over the internet. I did not think that he would share confidential material like that because in my mind, this was a real relationship. And in real relationships, people don't do that kind of thing to hurt each other.
You have some very specific allegations of what you think people need to consider. The student would scribble love notes on Post-its and leave them on her desk, called her his Empress. Now, you make that point because you're saying this was him initiating contact with you, initiating this moving to a romantic level with you. Your point is you didn't go after him, he came after you.
Correct.
The student has a very educated mind and twisted her brain into accepting a relationship with him. She and the student sat in a parked car and started making out and touching, and he was the sole initiator of that.
Yes, he was always the sole initiator of all things physical.
The student would occasionally come into her classroom and try kissing her, and she would try to push him away.
I never wanted that to happen. And he would always try and push all of the limits, all of them.
In the classroom? In
the classroom.
And he'd close the door, everybody go out, he'd come in, close the door.
He would grab me in his arms, and he tried kissing me, and he tried doing a lot more stuff, and I kept having to push him away. Eventually, I just gave in to the kissing.
Were you offended by it, or did you react to it positively? I mean, how did you respond?
I mean, physical intimacy, when you like a person, especially, there's a physiological response that happens. So it's not like I asked to enjoy it.
But you did.
Well, yeah, I mean.
How did all of this happen about exchanging pictures?
He thought it would be sexy. I don't know what was going through his brain. He thought it would be cool, bragging rights, I don't know, to have me send him these pictures.
Bragging rights.
To his friends. I know, right? I know.
So you think this through and you say, okay, the reason that he would want these is to show his friends.
No.
Bragging rights. You said bragging rights.
Yes, but that came about afterwards. I'm saying that's what was probably going through his mind. I didn't think that he was going to share them with his friends, because in my mind, if you're in a real relationship, you don't just run around with your phone saying, hey, look, everybody, look how hot my girlfriend is.
So you're sending naked pictures, a teacher sending naked pictures of herself to a 17-year-old boy. What could possibly go wrong here?
You have to remember, in my mind, during this whole thing, his age was erased in my mind. I mean, looking back at that now, I think, oh my God, like what was I thinking? What was I doing?
You have got to be dumber than a box of rocks to send naked pictures to a 17-year-old boy. And what did he do with them?
Well, obviously he showed his friends.